Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Comey. How are you, my man?
Doing well. It's a beautiful day. The
Yeah,
uh,
people
the
do.
Fed has helped us all on all our bullish causes.
Thank you, Jerome Powell and the gang. Cool and the gang.
So tell us what do you got going on? I know you got some pretty big positions there if you feel like discussing them.
You know, uh, I can tell you the companies that I think are groovy. I really am bullish on C3 AI. I'm really bullish on Robinhood. I'm really bullish on MicroStrategy, and I'm really bullish on Bitcoin. Those are the four things that I'm most excited about today. Now,
So what do you like about C3 AI? I
I
I
gotta be
don't.
honest, and I think tell people I do own those positions. So do with it what you will, but I am bullish on that in the long term. I'm not talking from a necessarily a day trader perspective, but you know, more long term. Would you say, brother?
What's your thesis?
You know, the thesis is basically there's a handful of companies right now that matter: Palantir, C3 AI, Microsoft, um, MicroStrategy. Um, Kind of interested in SoundHound. Haven't really been following that, but I'm starting to put that on my radar. The thesis is basically, AI, Bitcoin.
Okay, but that particular company, you just I know you trade it. Um, is there anything fundamental about it that you like? Or you pretty much follow the price action.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I kind of just vibe things a little differently. The price action, I basically compare my general thesis of where is the future going on a short, medium, and long-term level, and I compare that against the price action. I generally like to buy calls on dips.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you've had a nice little run lately.
Yeah, brother. How about yourself? What you holding? What you doing?
Well, I've got through my life I've had a lot of different strategies and I'm holding all that stuff. I still have all my ETFs, I still have all my crypto, I still have all my dividend stocks. Now I think MicroStrategy, I agree with you there. I think that they're going to have premium expansion, and I think that Bitcoin is in an incredibly bullish phase. So I think MicroStrategy, I'm very bullish on. I could see it going to 50,000. So I'm trading
Agree.
around that. I trade different than you do. I don't buy calls. I really can't stomach it. Um, I don't need to. My portfolios, I guess, of a size that I don't need to take on that kind of risk. So I'm on the opposite side of the trades, although I'm selling puts. And a lot of people, I think, don't understand the MicroStrategy thesis. So it's 20% shorted. The premiums on puts are outrageous. You can sell puts 70, 80, 125% out of the money and get paid handsomely. And there was there was a little pressure on MicroStrategy on Monday. It went down to 1230, and I had some 1,000 short-term puts that I had written, and I was able to roll those from 1,000 to 900, get a little bit more time, and got paid super handsomely for that. And now, since it's leveled out, the implied volatility has gone down. So a lot of the premiums, I wouldn't say they collapsed, but they've gone down a lot. So those are all profitable. And I think my plan is to trade that, although I am accumulating it, trade it, and then put it into Bitcoin.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say I think the best place you could put your money right now is in Bitcoin, or some proxy derivative of Bitcoin that for the long term. I mean, I definitely agree with that and support that as far as you know, where I'd be putting my money. It's kind of, as a side note, it's interesting because, Jensen from Nvidia definitely has got everyone's attention. Everybody loves Jensen Wong. I mean, at least everyone I talk to, people who aren't even in the stock market, they take one look at that guy talking and they're like, I support this company. I mean, besides the fact that they have the greatest, chipset technology right now, I mean, he's a likable guy that seems to be very, very well captaining the ship. So, that's something of great importance. Now, that being said, overnight, it just hit the news feed that something like I think 15 or 20 Chinese fighter jets are circling Taiwan. So don't know what that means. Don't know if anything's going to pop off. And I don't know if, they're trying to say whatever, hold on to your pants and all that. But I don't know. It just kind of seems like the football game that doesn't go away, the grab over Taiwan semi, Nvidia, the technology, world power structure. That's an issue. That's an issue today.
Yeah, a couple thoughts on Nvidia. Um, First of all, its market cap has had such a huge run up. Um, what is it, 2.4 trillion? It's one of the largest companies in the world. Um, how much more can it expand when there's $900 trillion total liquidity in the world? So I took some money off the table in Nvidia, put it toward MicroStrategy for that reason, because MicroStrategy's microcap is like 30 billion. So I feel like it has a lot more room to run. And then my thought with Nvidia and the Taiwan situation is Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan and spent some time there, came back, and that's as soon as she came back, that's when she placed all of her Nvidia calls, which she's up millions of dollars in. So she trades like an insider, and I think her inside information tells us that the United States is not going to allow China to take over, do anything with Taiwan.
I agree. Good point.
I could be wrong, but I took, like I said, I took chips off the table with Nvidia anyway. I mean, where is it going to go? It's such a high market cap in such a quick amount of time. And then you see that's why I like AMD a little bit because it has a lot smaller market cap. It's up big today, but that's because I think Micron reported and did really
Mhm.
well. So I mean the chips are great, and I think that Nvidia is an amazing stock, and I think that it's something you'd want to have, but I just don't see it you know doubling or anything like that. It's that there's not room for that market cap expansion at this time.
Well, I could actually debate that respectfully, but I do generally agree with what you're saying. The debate on the other side of that coin is that um, if Nvidia does a split and mom and pop who don't understand what a split means and all of that stuff, and they're just adding to their 401ks and their IRAs on a daily basis, to a large scale, I think Nvidia over the next couple of months, if it hasn't already gotten there, is going to continue to spread this theory that they are the internet going forward. I mean, Google is definitely losing ground, in my opinion. Amazon, they're holding ground. Apple holding ground. Nvidia seriously gaining ground. Uh, Tesla, I believe, is in some ways holding ground. I would put them in the holding ground category, even though their stock price is going down a little bit. But I think an argument could be made that Nvidia is the internet. How much is the internet worth? If you took, 25%.
I don't understand that argument. Nvidia is the internet.
Well,
I
if
do understand the stock split part because yes, I think if it's split 10 to 1 or did like Chipotle just did a 50 to 1 split.
that's
I
right,
mean, if
50 to
you know,
1.
so I mean, I do think yes, then people who are looking to buy units, you know, would be more likely to come in and retail investor would come in and buy more. But I don't understand Nvidia is the internet. Can you explain that?
Sure. Well, considering that everything is really going towards Chat GPT, Mid Journey, everything that's really applications that are working on the AI system, those are all based, you know, uh, including Tesla's self-driving, including all their AI. I mean, everything is NVIDIA. So if we think about it, who really stands outside of that? I mean, AMD is incredibly overpriced. So if you're an investor, you're going to probably go to NVIDIA. Google, I think that their systems are getting archaic. I think the best thing they have going for them is YouTube, and I think they're not spending. There's a lack of cohesion within the company. It seems that the positive, I hate to use this word, the positive cult-like element that Google used to have has now turned into kind of I think a dark cloud in some ways. And um, so getting back to the point, NVIDIA, if information and the speed of information, getting it, processing it, delivering it, you know, asking it is AI. We're talking NVIDIA. NVIDIA is behind it all. Now, if they're only making chips, that's one thing, but they're getting into, software and cloud storage and other things as well. I wouldn't be surprised if NVIDIA is putting chips in refrigerators pretty soon. All they really need to do is grow their manufacturing capacity, and it almost seems that their magic chips can make your refrigerator as smart as Google's supercomputers, because you don't have to do a search. You just have to ask. It's literally like Michael Knight, Kit, which is the best way to go? Take me there. Kit, make me a picture that looks like this and sells to this many people and makes me $50,000. Like, Google can tell you a step of the way, but NVIDIA could actually make it happen and get it done.
Yeah, there's no doubt Nvidia is a great company, but they have 1/5 of 1% of all the money in the whole world as their market cap, and they've quadrupled in the last year. I think I think that everybody thinks Nvidia is a great company, so everybody has run the stock price up. And um, I mean, what's our if they double, they would have what instead of 210, they'd 0.004 of all the money in the whole world. So I mean, where do they go? 3 trillion. So they have 3 trillion. 3 trillion out of the 900 trillion in the whole world is Nvidia.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of other things in the world like real estate and all the other companies in the world, all the cryptocurrencies, all the places that you can put money. I just think that the run up has been so high that you're going to find more outsized gains in a company like MicroStrategy or even C3 AI like you like. It's got a small market cap. It has room to run. To me, Nvidia is a crowded trade. I think it
I
works
agree.
great for somebody who trades like me that sells options. I could write puts out of the money because I don't think it's going to drop. If it does, it's not going to drop precipitously, and there's going to be buyers because the story is so good. But unless there's a stock split and there's something more to the story about them just really crushing the competition, I think it's kind of everything that you're talking about is pretty much baked in at this point.
I respect
Just
that.
my opinion. I mean, because when you have to look at it, it's like let's say it is by far the greatest company in the world. What's the percentage of all the world's assets it could possibly take? So, and then you've got something like Bitcoin, which is a complete asset class. It's its own asset class now, and its market cap is sitting at 1.2 trillion, basically almost, just 60% of Nvidia, which is just one corporation in the world. To me, that has a lot more room to run. That can get a nice chunk of the $900 trillion of money floating around. And let's say it goes to 1 quadrillion, which I think it will because of the money printing. It just has that one to me has a lot more room to run. So now we've got the Fed cutting rates, which is going to weaken the dollar even more. And where do you put your money to fight your decreasing purchasing power? And traditionally, it's been gold, and Bitcoin just is eating its lunch. So that's where I think the future is. Nvidia is a great company, but and MicroStrategy, which is a kind of a leveraged play, a genius play on Bitcoin. I really like that too. The market cap is 30 billion. They own 1%, more than 1% of the whole supply of Bitcoin. And here's a person who leverages debased fiat currency to put it into something with a finite supply. And we haven't seen ever a commodity or a property or a digital property or any type of property that has such a finite supply that you can trade freely through an ETF or buying it yourself and self-custodying it. And the gains on Bitcoin since the beginning, it's up 17 million times, I read today. You could first buy Bitcoin for 0.003 cents. And there's never been an investment like that. Raoul Pal says it's like an alien investment. And if you're not part of it, you're missing out on the greatest opportunity of our lifetime. And I agree with it. It went from being somebody's thought to being an asset class. And an asset class is so important for it to be like that because the regular mainstream investor is looking to diversify their portfolio and they're looking for non-correlated assets in their portfolio. And it is the greatest non-correlated asset. It doesn't correlate to bonds at all. And it very, very, very has a small correlation to stocks. It's not correlated to real estate. So as a diversifier, it's almost a necessity for it to be in people's portfolios. And we're just seeing people discussing this, and family managers and large term money managers and other entities are just really dipping their toe in right now. It's like in a 9-inning ball game. We're still in the locker room waiting to come out to warm up.
I have a theory. I'm going to add to that. I agree with you 1,000% that the Bitcoin is I mean, I love your bullishness on that. If it wasn't for that, I don't know what to say. I seriously think that is awesome. As far as
You made a little bit of money lately off that.
yeah, I did. Thank you. What do you call it? Nvidia. I want to get back to that for a second because, I like to imagine strange things, and that's kind of my thing. I'm sorry, I know I go off in some kind of bizarre tangents sometimes, but
Dude, you're one of a kind. Let the world hear. Expose the
all
world to
right.
your brain.
All right, here's what I'm kind of vibing right now. I think Nvidia is going to announce a split. I think they're going to announce a 10-for-1 split at 1,000. That's going to put it at $100. That's going to push it to 2,000. That's going to basically, so you'll have $200 in a share. And then when they have that money and that leverage, that would be the perfect time for them to come along and buy Google. To actually take over that scenario, basically kill off the crap that Google has that isn't working, reinstall all the right servers, and recreate a search under the name Google with Nvidia's backbone and hyperpower everything that Google has going with Nvidia. To me,
So
that would be that would be the
that
move.
means Nvidia would have 5 trillion of the
Yes,
$900 trillion available to the whole world,
yes,
including everybody's home, every skyscraper, every airplane, every rocket.
that's right. And I'll make the
I
argument
just
for
don't
that,
see it.
and that's cool.
That's just too large of a percentage of the whole world's money supply. But
It's
yes, you could be right. We'll see it on here. We have this we have this memorialized in time.
That's right. And let
Um,
me ask you this. Which would you prefer if you had an opportunity to buy $5 million worth, sorry, $10 million worth of Nvidia stock right now, or a $10 million apartment complex somewhere?
I'd have to see the numbers. But the problem with an apartment complex is you don't have to do anything holding $10 million of Nvidia stock, and you don't have any holding costs. You only have to pay taxes when you sell. If you have a $10 million apartment complex, there's maintenance, there's insurance, there's all the headaches of running it, there's taxes, there's holding costs. And plus, it's not in my realm of expertise. I think the better question is, would I rather hold $10 million of Nvidia stock, or would I rather have $10 million of Bitcoin, or a split between MicroStrategy and Bitcoin? And that to me is an easy question. And the other thing I would say about Nvidia buying Google, there's a lot of antitrust issues there. Nobody likes companies to get too big and have too much breadth and be monopolistic. So that would be tough. And what's the market cap of Google? Let
Good
me take a
question.
quick look.
I think they're under a
Um,
trillion. It's like
I mean,
800.
I love that you have I love that you have these thoughts, because sometimes they come through. Like you thought you knew that Apple was not going to do their own car.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, not to pat myself on the back, there's been a few. I remember one of probably my greatest hit, and I say that laughingly and jokingly, because I don't really put myself on some high level, but it's fun. Is you remember when I said that uh Facebook needed to change their name?
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
did that.
Yes, you nailed that one for sure.
Nailed that
Well,
one.
Google's market cap is almost 2 trillion on its own.
I mean, here's the problem with Google. The good side of Google is everybody has Gmail. The other side is they love the name Google. They use it. It's kind of like a household name like Coca-Cola. And I think the biggest and most exciting thing for me is YouTube, because me and most of my friends watch more YouTube than anybody else, because it's the most informative, interesting place that you can go and go down 500,000 rabbit holes a day that didn't exist yesterday on whatever you want, and it empowers the little man to bring information, or woman. It's To me, I love it. I just absolutely love that product. Besides that, I'm not really in love with any other product that they have. I mean, I use Google, but I definitely believe that you know, Chat GPT and AI within a year will be intuitive enough to know what I'm looking for and get me there faster, better than Google will.
Yeah, I mean that's the bear case on Google, is that Chat GPT or whatever, those AI programs are going to eat its lunch, although they're spending a lot of money themselves to try to be the leader, because they already have everybody. If they could turn their Google search into that, people wouldn't leave. So I guess there's kind of like an arms race. Not to change the subject, but I just got noticed that gold just hit another all-time high.
Oh, nice.
Um, so I think the main thesis for all investors right now is that fiat currencies around the world are getting weaker and getting debased by all this money printing. The Fed just said they're going to be having 3 rate cuts, which is going to cause more money printing, which is going to cause more inflation, and people need to protect their money. And that's why gold is reaching an all-time high right now. It doesn't have the gains that Bitcoin does, but that's because there's not a limited supply. Um, when gold is at this price now, you can bet that there's a lot of earth movers in the ground digging and trying to find more gold because it's worth their while right now. And that brings me back again to Bitcoin.
Well, actually,
Um,
I wanna interject there. Gold brings me back to Nvidia because all of their new chips are basically solid gold. Like they are actually they're using
oh, they're
gold.
using that as an industrial use.
Yeah. And I think that could be a catalyst for the price of gold right now. I mean, if you want the best chips in your whatever, it's going to have gold in it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Um, well, I think everybody needs to preserve their wealth. Um, you can get tech stocks like Nvidia and things like that. And you know, as things rise in price, they're going to be able to pass on the price of things to their customers. So you have some protection there. Um, but I really think that the dollar could lose its status as reserve currency. And um, you got to have your money in something else. And so I almost don't see Bitcoin as an investment. I see it as a conversion of our dollars into something that is a real store of value. I mean, gold is the same way too, but the problem with gold is if you have physical gold, you have to store it. It's hard to transport. It's not easily sold. You could buy the GLD ETF, but I think that's paper gold, and there's risks involved with that. It's just you have this pristine asset, Bitcoin, with a finite supply, and most of it's already out there. A bunch of it has already been lost.
That's right.
And you're about to have, I think, sovereign funds, um, large pension plans, huge money managers, institutional investors coming in and buying it up. And I mean, there's going to be a halving now in like less than a month. So the miners are going to be putting out half the amount. The supply and demand curve is just such in its favor. Um, I just think that's the thesis that needs to be hammered over and over. And you can do it through the proxies, MicroStrategy, um, all
Beto,
the ETFs.
yeah, the ETFs, Vanguard, what is it, ARK Investments?
Yeah. So maybe I'm have like a small worldview. Like I keep coming back to that, but I just see it unfolding in our lifetime. Look at the inflation that we've had. This last year was so bad they couldn't get it under control. They still don't have it under control yet. Now they're going to cut rates. They should be tightening probably if they wanted, and the government should not be spending as much. They need fiscal responsibility. They need currency responsibility, and it's just not happening. They're just letting it go, and they've kicked the can down the road so much. I think we're headed toward hyperinflation, and it's really scary for people that are on fixed income, um, people that work a 9 to 5 job and they have a salary and maybe they've got kids and they've got expenses. They're just getting more and more expensive. The price of eggs, the price of milk, the price of gas. And we're going to start pulling things that are super expensive out of the CPI so that they can manipulate the inflation rate. And then they're going to probably jump the inflation rate, be comfortable 2% to 3%. And those keep changing those numbers, but everybody's purchasing power is going down. And that is just so bullish for Bitcoin.
That's right.
Um, it's almost like if Bitcoin keeps going up, you're not really getting much richer because it's priced in US dollars. You're basically just protecting yourself.
It's
Does that make
digital
sense?
gold. It's digital gold. Yeah, it's digital gold. And I completely 1000% agree with you. There was a time when I didn't, and I've questioned even up until this year. But no, the tide has turned, and it makes a lot of sense. I understand it now, and I love it. I'm definitely 100% down with Bitcoin, and but I will tell anybody for the record, I could care less about the altcoins, honestly. The altcoins have application, you know, but I don't know. I'm just going to be bearish on that and say I have no interest in that.
Well, if you, I'm bearish on Ethereum because if, the blockchain that's 50% used and then everybody else basically splits the other 50% is Solana.
Yeah, which is
And
probably the only that's pretty cool.
Solana Solana is just eating Ethereum's lunch.
Hmm.
And so if there was an altcoin that I'd be investing in, it would be Solana.
Hmm.
Um, all the meme coins that just went crazy were on the Solana blockchain. Um, so I have come full circle, and basically I'm not really investing in any altcoins. To me, it's Bitcoin. It's got the limited supply. It's
Yep.
got now it's got really what's considered a governmental blessing with the ETFs.
Mhm.
Institutional investors are coming in, and I just want to own as much of it as I can.
I agree,
Um,
brother.
I mean, I think that I can't remember if everybody had. I mean, if everybody in the world wanted to buy Bitcoin, they could. I think what could they have? 0.02 Bitcoin. Um, and supposedly sometime in the future, if you have 0.21 Bitcoin, you're considered a rich person. If you can get to 1 Bitcoin, you're a whole coiner, and that is even more rare. Um, I see that. I see Bitcoin. My price prediction is it'll be six figures quickly sometime this year. Um, and I see it zooming to 250, 375, 500. And if you fast forward to the next halving after this one, I think you're going to see Bitcoin seven figures.
I agree. I
And
absolutely
you
agree.
tell me where you can get that return. And the thing is, if you get there where I'm talking about, so 10x puts it at 700,000. 10x puts it from instead of what is it, 3 trillion to 13 trillion. Having 13 trillion of the 900 total supply doesn't seem outrageous to me.
No, no,
Um, and if it's expanding and it goes to 1.1 quadrillion, then it goes up even more. And so, yeah, I need to probably get off my Bitcoin soapbox right now. But it's just the world events around us is just everything points in that direction to me.
I'm with it, brother. And I'm also ready to rock on today. We've got 11 minutes before the open. So what do you say we get into our battle stations and get ready to do some trading for the day?
Yeah, I know you've got a lot of things going on, and so yeah, good luck with you today, and we'll pick this up next time. Good luck, my friend.
Hopefully tomorrow, my man. Let's talk later in the day.
All right, talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.